Well, let's begin with the race for the White House. Donald Trump fires back at the New York Times for what he calls a, quote, lame hit piece on his past treatment of women.
And this as the Democrats gear up for a showdown in 2 states.
Kristin Fisher joins us now live with those developments from Washington. Good morning, Kristin.
Good morning.
Hey, good morning, ladies. Well, Donald Trump has been on the defense ever since the New York Times came out with a story on Saturday, essentially accusing him of crossing the line with women in the workplace. Trump's been calling it a lame hit piece, and he posted on Twitter, quote, "Why doesn't the failing New York Times write the real story on the Clintons and women? The media is totally dishonest," though the New York Times is standing by their reporting. Now, Trump may be the only Republican still in the race, but we've still got more primaries. Up next, Oregon tomorrow, where 28 Republican and 73 Democratic delegates are on the line. And for the Democrats, they've also got Kentucky. Trump won the state's Republican caucuses back in March. So Clinton and Sanders have been, campaigning very hard across Kentucky over the weekend. Clinton had been the early favorite in that state, but there's a chance Sanders could take it. Still, Clinton is saving all of her attacks for Trump, some tailor-made for Kentucky.
There's a saying in the Senate, there are 2 kinds of senators. There are show horses and work horses. You all know a little bit about that here in Louisville, don't you? I have to say, it really lifted my spirits to see Exaggerator beaten in the Derby.
But there's new polls out that give fresh ammunition to an old Sanders argument, that he'd fare better against Trump in November than Clinton. The Atlanta Journal-Constitution has Trump beating Clinton in Georgia 45-41, but Sanders beating Trump 47-42. Now, Sanders was favored to win in Oregon on Tuesday, but a new poll has Clinton ahead there by 15 points, though that could be an abnormality, especially when you take into account the number of independent voters in that state. It's a closed primary, but there's been a surge of unaffiliated voters registering as Democrats so that they can vote tomorrow. So we'll see if that made a difference. Washington State went very much for Sanders. We'll see if its neighbor Oregon does the same tomorrow. Abby and Heather.
We will see, and we'll have it all right here. Thank you so much, Kristin Fisher, live for us.